Well, on this, we like to use the Schluter preform niches. What we have found is that a lot of times the preform niche just isn't quite the right size for the tile that we're using. We're using this 3x6 subway tile, and you can see we're spacing it up. The actual space ends up being about 12¼ inches with the 16th inch grout joints in there, where our space inside the niche is exactly 12 inches. So if I want the tile to be the right height, the niche is going to have to be made taller. And so to do that, we're just going to take the niche and cut it in half, and we can spread it, and then we can put some Kerdi band on it to make it waterproof again. So that's what we're going to do. And as I said, we're going to cut this in half. So now the niche is in two. So when we put it on the wall, we'll put the bottom half and the top half exactly where we want it. And from there, we'll be able to resize our niche to the right size. Okay, this video is going to kind of serve two purposes. Number one, we're going to show how we locate our niches after we start the tile process. And number two, we're resizing our niche to fit the tile pattern. And so we've got our location of the niche marked. And we're using a 12x12 Kerdi niche from Schluter. And so we've got the niche cut in half already. We're going to put the top of the niche in place, and we're going to try to locate the top of the niche on our laser line. And then the bottom of the niche will be located, so it's going to end up being just a little bit apart from each other. And that's that way our tile has a full tile at the bottom of the niche and a full tile on top of the niche. So we'll get all that put in place. Then we're going to put a piece of Kerdi band across the seam there, and that'll be waterproof again, and we're ready to go. Okay, we're checking the final location of the niche, and we're going to use the Kerdi screws and washers to put it together. And once we get everything located exactly where we want it, it'll take a couple screws, top and bottom, and a couple in the middle, and then we'll be ready to band it right after that. Okay, what we're doing right now is we're prepping the seam between the upper and the top and bottom half of our niche for our banding strip that's going to go on. That's going to rejoin the two strips together, or the two halves of the niche, to make it waterproof again, so there won't be any penetrations that are open. And then once this is all put together, we'll be back to banding the outside of the niche, and then we'll be done.
You cut it to go like this?
Yep. Looks like it's going to fit. So continuing with our waterproofing of the niche, we're going to band the left side here. And as you can see, we had the forethought, since we knew the niche was going in, we didn't waterproof the entire shower while we were building it. And so now we're going to finish banding where we need the banding to be, and that's going to save us some overlaps and keep some of the buildup down. And so we've already got our strips pre-cut. We'll just line the banding up with the side of the niche there, and we'll bed it in place, and then we'll go on to the next piece. We aren't waterproofing completely to the ceiling, because the shower head is about a foot below where the top of that seam is. And so we'll be fully waterproofed way above the shower head height. As you can see, we're getting really close here to having this all waterproofed in. Our total time is going to be around 10 minutes or so between cutting the niche out and banding everything. We're not having a lot of downtime between videos. And then you might notice underneath of the niche is a grab bar from Tileware. And so that will be in the same piece of banding across the bottom of the niche that is with the rest of it. So we just got two more strips left, one across the top and one across the bottom, and we're done. So we have the last piece of banding ready to go. It's notched around the two barrels of the tile wear bar. So we'll put that in place. And it's just the same as the rest of it. It gets bedded in. We maintained our 2-inch overlap everywhere. And then once this piece is done, the last thing that we're going to do to help make sure that we're fully waterproofed is use a little bit of Kerdi fix around the two barrels to make sure that no water can reap its way in behind the tile assembly. So that's how we do it. And like I say, the whole thing is taking us probably a little over 10 minutes or so to cut the niche out, get it ready to go, band the whole thing, and be ready to go right back to tiling. And so there's the Kerdi fix, and there we go. Okay, this is after everything is all done. You can see again we got the band that goes up. We still got a couple of screw heads that we'll have to band, but basically I'm just showing off the niche. The other thing I want to draw attention to, you can see our line is just barely below the bottom of the niche. That's on purpose to make sure that the niche is out of the way so that our layout hits exactly and the niche doesn't have some weird grout joint going around it. Again, you can see the Kerdi fix smeared around those two barrels. And so got just a couple more strips of banding to do yet. We'll get those done before we continue with the tile, but we're ready to keep going up the wall for a little ways, and then there we go.